part two, we're still going to be talking about um basically the foundation of your covenant, right? How to lay the foundation of your marriage covenant before you lay the foundation of your marriage covenant, how you should be thinking, what type of questions you should be asking, not only just your spouse, but also reflecting on within yourself. And so we were talking about prior to like in video, the first video for this, about fasting, right? What about fasting as your response to will you marry me? What would it look like if Chava would have asked, went back and asked Yah instead of just going on her own understanding about what something looked like, right? It looks like it's of Yah. It looks like it could be of Yah. It looks like, you know what I mean? Yah sent this to me. But that's based on your understanding. You're assuming that Yah did a thing based on your capacity to understand. And we should never do that, because Yah's ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts, which is why he requires us to develop a relationship with him, not only so we can be able to discern, okay, that doesn't really feel like my Abba, or that does feel like my Abba, but so that we can know that we can trust him and we can ask him anything, and that we should ask him anything, right? We should be going before Yah in anything. Before you even decide before you even decide to start to date somebody, or like I call it courting. My daughter hates it. She's like, why do you say that? But that's what it is. Before that courting, right? Before that man is pursuing you, actively pursuing you, and you are participating in that pursuit, there should be a conversation with the Most High, like, Abba, am I allowed to do this? Are you giving me permission to actively pursue this woman? Are you giving me permission to participate in this man's pursuit? Right? Like, I keep going back to the example, like, what if Sheba would have asked? What if she would have asked, yeah, if it was okay for her to have that fruit? She would have known that she couldn't have had it because he had already told her. But you know what else she would have known? She entertained that conversation with the serpent way too long. She communicated with him way too long. That was the downfall, right? Among many. We could talk about, because where was Adam anyway? Adam, how some man get the opportunity to even have this elongated conversation with your wife, and you don't be like, yeah. Okay, that's me, fam. But no, it's like she was talking to him way too long. We entertain the things that we are kind of unsettled about when it comes to our Abba for way too long. One thing about it, the scriptures say that our Abba does not tempt us, right? It is our own desires that cause us to sin. So if you are married to this man or married to this woman, and you know now that that was because you gave into your own desires. It had absolutely nothing to do with anything besides that. You gave into your own desires, regardless of if your own desires were to take advice from someone else to make it your life decision, base your life decision on what somebody else thought was good for you, or you just chose it was lust or what have you, but it was your desires, because our Abba doesn't tempt us, and Yah isn't going to forcefully push you into a direction that he knows is going to harm you. You can choose to walk that way though, right? And so that's what happens. We entertain these things that aren't of our Abba so long that we begin to quiet his voice within ourselves. And so now we can't discern between who's real and who's not. I think this of Yah, but I don't even know. Now you have to give yourself a pep talk, like, I'm gonna just go ahead because I know he wouldn't mislead me. No, he wouldn't. So why are you going that way? He would never mislead you. Why are you going the wrong way? And assuming, or not even assuming, you knew it wasn't of him, but you just want, in order to take the responsibility off of yourself, you're going to label that God told me to do it, so I don't know. He didn't, because that's not how he operates. He doesn't push us towards chaos and confusion. He might fix our situation with chaos and confusion in order to cause a sense of urgency within us, but he doesn't push us into chaos and confusion. That's not him, right? Okay. What else? People are taking okay. People are taking buying a house more serious than they are wedding covenants, and that's scary, right? When you're preparing for a house, what do? You get an accounts straight. You even sometimes people go to their employer to ask them to move this and move that. I'm staying in my lane. I'm just telling you some of the things that happen. Right? You're signing this and signing that and won't put money in this account and moving your mama account over there and taking off joint owners and adding you're doing all of these things. Sometimes you won't even make life purchases for a certain amount of you plan a certain amount of years ahead. I got to keep this account looking like this for this amount of years, and that car payment, I'm going to give this car back and I'm going to get an old car so my insurance can look like. Bro, you be finessing and finagling all types of things to present yourself a certain way, right? You go through all of this headache. You haven't pulled your credit report in 7 years, but now you're going up there trying to figure out who you owe and all of these things. Now you're trying to do things right according to what man says you need to do in order to get a loan or on a morgue. But anyway, right? But you won't put in the work necessary to know if this person is of Yah that you are considering marrying, right? Not even considering, you didn't already say it, yeah. You said yeah and didn't even ask Yah anything. How often do we make decisions without going back to ask our Abba? Like, ask Yah. Even about that house that you're thinking because I don't even, the scripture said, oh, no, man. So I don't really do loans and all of that type of stuff, right? Like, I learned that, yeah. Anyway, go to Yah about everything. Be so serious about your relationship with Abba that you are intentional. You want to know his approval on everything. Can I wear my hair? When I cut my hair, before I cut my hair, I asked Yah, could I cut my hair? Even now, growing it back, I asked Yah, could I grow it back? I asked. With where you're living, where you're moving to, and I'm not even just talking about the house, the state, the city, the neighborhood, what type of car you're going to drive, the insurance company that you use for all of these things, what grocery store you're going to go to, what type of foods you're going to cook, the cookware that you're going to use. Why not? Isn't that your relationship with Yah that serious, that meaningful to you that you want to know his position on everything in your life? Do you not want to know his position on every decision that you make? Because see, and in that, thank you, Abba, Yah is preparing you to move as a unit with that anyway. Because when you're marrying somebody, that's what you do. You have to consider everything. Consider everything in relation to another person. And if you're a mother, that's double time, triple time, however many. Everything that I do, regardless of what I do, everything is in relation to my child. You think not? How? Yes, it is. Who I marry, who I don't marry, what I eat, what I don't eat, where we live, what type of music I'm listening to, what type of movies I'm watching, even as she gets older, right? Because when they're little, you're thinking like, oh, I don't want to watch this. I don't want them to be afraid of the dark or think of whatever. But bro, like even as they get older, you still have to be so intentional about what you do and don't do because they're still watching. They'll listen to nothing you say and repeat everything that you do. Because that's what you're feeding them. That's what you're telling them that it's okay, right? How can I explain that? But it's like, okay, so do you know about dopamine? I feel like I've spoken about this before, but it's like, regardless of what you dislike, everything that gives you a dopamine kick, what you're doing is you're telling your mind, you're telling your body that I like this. This is good for me. This is pleasing to me, right? So in the household, if that's what's going on in the household, if it is poor quality food, if it's poor quality music, poor quality entertainment as a whole, poor quality relationship development, you haven't taught your child emotional intelligence, you're not being honest with your child. And that's what happens in a lot of religious households, especially Christian. Is just like you telling your child one thing, but the reflection of your life is totally different. It does not look like what you're telling me. You telling me don't lie, but yet you be lying. You're telling me that God forgives, but you not talking to my grandma. Like, I don't understand what's going on. So it's like we have to be intentional about the things that we show our children, regardless of what stage of life they are in, right? Because we're always ahead of them, right? Learning how to be a teenager, cool, while you're a teenager, right? And then as you get older, as a married woman, what I'm doing, I'm teaching my daughter how to be a married woman. As a grandmother, I'm teaching my daughter how to, you understand what I'm saying? And so at each stage of life, they can look to you for guidance, and they are supposed to be able to do so. Don't mislead and don't misguide your children by separating yourself from them on some, this my life and they grown or whatever. Like, don't do that, because you shortchange your children and you deprive them of nourishment, for real, right? So like I said, whatever I eat, whoever I marry, whatever I do, what I don't do, the things I expose myself to, my daughter is paying attention to those things, because what I'm doing is I am okaying them for her, or I'm telling her, no, this is why we don't do that. This is why we don't move like that. This is why we don't talk like that, or affiliate or associate ourselves with stuff like that, because of this word. When you marry someone, what you're doing is you're saying that how you live your life is how I want my child to live theirs. That's what you're doing. The decisions you make, how you move, how you operate, I want that for my daughter. I want that for my son. If that's not what you can say about whoever you have next to you, you need to reevaluate and talk to our Abba. And you should have done that from the jump. We have to be more intentional about the decisions that we make all around the board, because they not only directly affect our life, but they directly affect the lives of those in whom we are connected to, those in whom we say we love, right? It's like, I love you so much, but I'm going to let this man come in and tear up our relationship. I love you so much, I'm going to let this woman come in and tear up our relationship. Distract me, keep me from being who Yah has called me to be to you. In my situation, who Yah has called me to be to my daughter will never be disrupted by another person. I'm not going to let a man come in and take my mind off of that in which Yah has told me to focus on. We can join together as a unit and move on with that, and be fruitful and multiply and do it over and over again as Yah allows. But to be distracted from it, to be pulled away from it, nah. Because I'm intentionally rooted in this thing. Yah chose us, right? It is our responsibility to choose him back. We can't just be passerby, right? Just sit and be passive in our relationship with the Most High, because it will reflect in every other aspect of our life, right? Okay. But you won't, okay, so we talked about, looking at the house, but not figuring out how long someone else has been walking with the Most High. That's an important question. That's an important question, right? That you should be asking someone. How long have you been walking with the Most High? Who is the Most High to you? Who is Yah to you, right? Do you call him Yahuwah? Do you call him Yah? Do you call him Abba? Are you walking around? Are you saying Ahaya? Do you have different, come on, I need to know. I feel like we are uncomfortable with having the conversations that are crucial to our relationship. We are uncomfortable with having. We need to know, how long have you been walking with the Most High? How do you know that you are walking with the Most High? How you know? How do you know that you're doing what Yah has called you to do? How do you know? Right? Okay. You need to know. Have you ever fasted before? Have you ever gone on a fast? What's the longest fast you've ever been on? Tell me about that. What was it like going on that fast? What did you learn being on that fast? What were the results of that fast? What's your relationship with y'all like? How often do you spend time with y'all? Are you connected? Do you feel like you really tapped in? Like, what do you mean by tapped in? Like, we need to be having real conversations. All these little play conversations. What's your favorite team? Will you? How many places have you visited in the world, bro? How many times have you been on your knees today, this week? What's up with you and your relationship with the Most High? Do your mama got a relationship with the Most High? Do your daddy got a relationship with the Most High? Your friends, the people that you kicking it with on a regular basis, like, do are y'all like a prayer group type thing? Y'all real, like, what's up? You the only one in your friend group that got a relationship with the Most High? How long y'all been friends? Have you ever read the Bible from cover to cover, like on your own? How long it take you? Because now I'm looking at how intentional and how determined you are. All of that, read the Bible in a year, it don't take a year. How intentional are you about the Most High? How decisive are you when it comes to the Most High? You read the Bible? How many times? What you think about it? You think everything in the Bible is true? Or you think some of it has been like switched around to comfort man? Excuse me. Because, and then also in that, I'm knowing where you stand with the Most High, right? Like, what's your perspective on Yah? You think the earth flat or you think it's round? Is space real? Or the firmament is keeping people from going up there? Them pictures are a hoax. Like, what you think? That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about stuff like that. What you think about the Bible? What you think about the firmament? What's your take on dinosaurs and dragons? You ever read the Book of Enoch? Like, I want to talk. I really want to have a conversation. I want to know what's up here and what's in here. I want to know. It's quality over quantity over here. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how fine you are. No, none of that matter to me, dog. None of it. Who are you? Who sent you? That's my daughter's favorite question. Like when people text her and she's talking to people on social media and they get a little weird, she's like, who sent you? For real, you need to find out, are you the ops? Like, who sent you? Who sent you? Okay, find out what's going on. Okay, does your family observe feast days or y'all still into them pagan holidays? I need to know. These things matter. Stop thinking you can marry a woman whose family is still heavily in the world. Stop thinking you can marry a man whose family is still heavily in the world. We need to talk. Because how involved are you with your family? Because are you going to leave me on these pagan holidays and go kick it with them and then come back to me and nope. We're not doing that. It's uneven yoke. I can't. How can two walk together unless they be agreed? How involved do you think that the family should be in our relationship? Like, are you a mama's boy? Like, are you calling your mama about every single thing? Is your mom like heavily involved? Like, what's up? How good are you at creating boundaries? Pay attention to all of that. Like, pay attention. Real talk. I learned at a young age. Let me tell you something. And I taught my daughter this as well. When I was younger, I used to walk with my cousins a lot. I come from a male dominant family, so it was always a lot of outside, a lot of play fighting, a lot of video games, all of that type of stuff, right? A lot of sports, football, playing all that stuff. So my cousin, I had an older cousin who lived, and I probably shouldn't have been walking this far. My dad is reckless, but who lived maybe about 2 miles or so, 2 or 3 miles from my grandmom's house. And so I would be with my dad at my grandmom's house, and my older cousin might need to go to his house for something, and he would allow me to walk. But my dad always gave whoever was with me, whatever cousins, and was with me. It would be rules. Like, they knew for a fact, don't come back if something happens to her and you don't have her. Like, there was no room for anything happening to me or me being in any type of need while I was with my cousin. I could not be hungry. I could not be thirsty. I could not be walking out and tired. He better get a bike, put me on his back or something. Like, there were strict rules, and my cousins knew that. And I remember being really, really little. Boy, I had to have been maybe 6, between 5 and 8. And I was walking with my cousin. And he put me on the inside. He was like, you can't walk on the outside of me. And he was younger. If I was like 5 or 6, he had to have been maybe 12, 13, somewhere up in there. And he was like, you can't walk on the outside. And we lived in an area that was known for like prostitution and stuff like that. And he was like, nah. Like, and he explained to me then, it's like, if you're ever walking with a man and he have you on the outside, he's not protecting you. You for sale. You up for grabs for anybody outside. Anybody who wants you, you're up to, he's prostituting you. He's telling them that you're for sale. You're up for grabs. Don't ever let a man walk on the house, on the inside of you. I knew that at a young age. Even now, so with my daughter knows that. Like, she pays attention to that. She'll tell me, like, she saw one of her friends and her friend's boyfriend, and they were crossing the street. Like, we have these type of conversations, and she's very observant. She picks up on that. I said, don't you ever let no boy take you anywhere, and he allows you to be on the outside. You pay attention to that. And I do that with her. When we're walking, ever since she was little, if we're walking, I put my hands on her and move her to the inside. Why? Because I'm protecting you. If a car come on this curb, I'm going to be able to, and it hits me, I'm going to be able to push you. Like, pay attention to stuff like that. Look at how you have to observe that man and how he moves. Regardless of what he says out of his mouth, how does he move? Pay attention to that. Thought it was necessary to say that. You know what I mean? Does he order your food for you at the restaurant? Does he know what you like? Could he be able to go to a restaurant and order food for you and know what you like? Could he pick your outfit out? Like, is he paying attention? Like, these are the things that we as women need to be paying attention to, because what we're doing is we are allowing this person to stand beside us and before us. What you're doing is you're saying, Abba, I know you've been, because let's keep it true. Abba, I know you have been doing it this long. I'm trusting you in this man for him to take over and be you to me here on earth, regardless of if you want to accept that or not. That's what it is. You're telling Yah, Abba, I trust this man to be you on earth for me. This is why you need to go and ask Yah, did you send this man to be you to me on earth? Because if not, I don't want him. I don't want him. All right? Find out. Find out if it's what his family's like. What is the boundaries? Who he really is. You mean to tell me his mama crazy, his daddy crazy, but he not? How? His siblings crazy, his mama crazy, his daddy crazy, his grandma crazy. That ain't even his real mama, but you just now finding out. Come on, we gotta ask questions. And we have to ask questions that are uncomfortable. Okay, but we have to know, you have to know. This man is entering your womb. You need to know who he is. You need to know who he is. This woman is bearing your children. You need to know who she is. You bring her in your house. Scripture talks about, Scripture talks about bringing that woman into your house. Bringing that corruption, that destruction, that wickedness, that darkness. A poisonous woman is nothing to be played with. You hear me? Nothing to be played with. A poisonous woman, gosh almighty, and many a wicked things, but I don't think none of them can equate to a poisonous woman. And you done brought that woman in your house. You better find out. We have to find out. We have to be intentional, and we have to ask these questions. Okay. What else? Yeah, okay, so that's what I was talking about. Is space real? Okay. Who taught you the meaning of love? Who taught you the meaning of love? What does love mean? Is it a feeling? Is it an emotion? Or is it a decision? For Yah so loved the world, Yah so loved the nation of Yashrael that he gave his son. That was a decision. So do you believe that love is just an emotion? Do you believe that love is just a feeling, or is love a decision? Have you decided? And if you've decided to love me, why? Why? Find out, okay? Don't give me no Merriam-Webster definition. Don't tell me anything that you've gotten from these influencer therapist people that are. I want to know for real. Like, did Yah give you the definition of love, and do you abide by that? Tell me what it is, okay? This is where your mind should be going. This is what you should be doing during the courting stage. Net matching outfits and cruises, okay? You need to be verifying if this person you're eyeing is worthy of looking at, okay? If this person you're eyeing is worth you even looking at. The scripture says, depart from me, I never knew you, okay? You need to be tapping in like Abba. They're fire, and kind, but did you call them to be mine, okay? Okay, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is the topic of discussion all the time? Like, what is their theme? People have themes. People have themes. Is their theme like, are they bubbly on a regular basis? And then you can kind of tell like if something is going on, I mean, they're not as bubbly. Like, what's their theme? What are they likely to talk about? What are they likely to be interested in? What type of things pique their interest? What do you see them kind of looking at when you're out walking outside? What causes or grabs their attention? What do they want to talk about when they see you? What they talk about when they're with their cousins, right? What do they talk about when they're with their homeboys? Now, granted, for me as a woman, I do not want to sit with my husband and his homeboys. Do I want to know them? Yeah, for sure. I'll speak. We'll say hi. I'll build a rapport and a relationship with them at that level. But I don't want to sit around and hear a whole bunch of men talk, because they talk about stuff I don't want to hear, and they curse. But that's a man. Let a man be a man with his men, I guess. But I don't want to sit in the midst of that. But I do want to know what's going on. Yeah, what type of dudes are you hanging with? What type of people are you surrounding yourself with? Are you allowing to be in your presence? Because whether I'm with them or not, when I'm with you, I am around them, because you are a reflection of them in a way. You've been with them all day today. Y'all kicked it. Y'all went and y'all played basketball, and you come back home. You are coming back home with some of them. Are they nourishing you and feeding you according to this word? Right? And is it going to be different for men and women? Absolutely. The way I sit and kick it with my homegirls and we're talking about the Most High is going to be different the way those men do. But the expectation is that when you go out, you still exactly who you are when you are in here. And you need to understand that and see that and observe that before it gets to that point. Like, when you go out with your homeboys, which y'all always doing, y'all always drinking. That's the only thing y'all do. Y'all don't do anything else. Y'all don't work out together. Y'all not praying. Like, you ain't say, your homeboy ain't seen you with text or a word or something. Like pay attention to that type of stuff. Even, and vice versa for women. Like, when you with your homegirls, like, what you wear when you with them? Like, I want to see like what type of mood you in when you with your homegirls. What type of vibe y'all on? Is it a lusty vibe, right? Is it giving a promiscuous vibe? Is it giving a wholesome vibe? Is it giving a humble vibe? Is it giving a loving vibe? Do Keisha always got something going on? Like, whenever I hear you talking to her or whenever you tell me about her, like, it's always she is something that, like, pay attention to all of that. What is the theme? What's the theme of your life? Okay? Laziness is a sin. Okay? If you don't want to put the work in to make sure that you are aligned to do Yah's will, at least be honest. If you don't want to put in all this work, ask all these questions, do all these observations, at least be honest with the person. Like, look, I'm going to keep it true with you about who I am, because I don't want to be held accountable for your blood being on my hands for me misleading you willingly and knowingly. I know for a fact that I'm not willing to put in the effort required to have a healthy marriage. I'm just keeping it true with you now. Y'all still working on me, and I ain't really putting in no effort on my behalf on the work. Who you see before you might be a totally different person next time you see me, because I ain't there yet. If you still want to be with me in the midst of that, cool. But I want it to be your decision that you are making because I'm being honest with you. Then you making a decision based on me lying to you because I'm gonna be held accountable for that. Do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, be honest. If you don't want to do what Yah has called you to do, be honest about it. Okay? Find out that and ask them, what's your perspective on marriage? You need to know, like, because people have different perspectives on marriage. And just because somebody's saying God and Jesus don't mean they have a relationship with the Most High. I want to stress that, bro, we have to move away from that quickly. That is witchcraft and it is wicked. Just because somebody is saying God and Jesus does not mean that they have a relationship with the Most High. Stop equating that as such. Stop labeling that as such. Oh, well, they're walking with the Most High. Says who? Because they know some scripture. Because they pray. Because they're nice. Because they look out for you. That does not mean that they have a relationship with the Most High. Yah has it's laid out plain about what we should do and what we should not be doing. Don't give me, yeah, but don't give me no, you cannot tell me that you're following the Most High and telling me Merry Christmas. You cannot. Because there's no way that you can be serious about following our Abba and still tied to the ways of the world. In the beginning, maybe in the beginning. But at some point, there has to be there should be some growth. It don't take 6, 7, 8, 10 years if you are actively pursuing Yah. Now, if you're not actively pursuing Yah, I don't know how long it's going to take. But if you're actively pursuing Yah and you're serious about this word, it's rapid. Yah changes that thing quick. He says he will give you the desires of your heart. Your desire is me? Bet. Got you. So stop assuming that just because somebody go to church on Sunday, and you need to ask that too. Are you a Sabbath keeper? Do you observe Shabbat? Do you observe every Shabbat? Do you think that that's a serious thing to do? Like, you need to understand who you are getting involved with. Okay? All right? What's your perspective on marriage? What's your perspective on marriage? What do you think when you hear the term marriage? Are you and even in that, especially with us, especially with Brews, especially with the people who call themselves to be Hebrews, you better find out, because these camps be wildin'. They're not rooted in Torah, they're rooted in man's doctrine. Rooted in man's desire. Do you hate white people? I need to talk. We need to find out. Do you hate white people? Do you hate Asian people? Do you feel like just because you are a chosen people, do you feel like you are the chosen people of Yah? What does it mean to be the chosen people of Yah? Why do you feel like you're chosen? What causes you to feel or know that you are the chosen seed of Yah? Are you more pro-black than you are pro-Yah? Are you pro-black over pro-love? Like, y'all better find out what's going on in the mind and the heart of the people. The lev, the authority within. Who is the authority within? What drives you? What keeps you? When you say marriage, do you think is it just me, or you want to marry me and other women? Do you want to have children? Do you not want to have children? How do you want these children to be raised? These are conversations before. You don't wait till you get married and then we just gonna figure it out as we go. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want my son to wash his hands before he uses the bathroom. Are you okay with that? Like, are you okay with your wife wanting you to teach your son to wash his hands before and after he uses the restroom? Here's my reason and why. He's at school, he's outside playing, he done touched the dog, the doorknob, the basketball, all of that, and then he gonna go in the bathroom and touch himself. That's germs. That's bacteria on him. Now he itching and he red and all. Wash your hands before you use the bathroom and afterwards. And not only am I teaching him that because he's little and I feel like that's just good hygiene to make sure that, you know what I mean, you're not putting any germs or any bacteria or any of that stuff on you, but also as he gets older and he becomes a woman's husband, okay, she's going to thank me that I have taught my son those type of hygienes for her own benefit. Because the same way he was touching the computer and keyboards at school and all of this type of stuff, he's at work and he's touching that and the pencils and pens, and he come and he done touched the car door and the car keys, and he done tied his shoelaces was on the ground, and then he used the restroom, and you come home early from work and he didn't get surprised to see you, and what? Now everything that was on his hands that is now on him is in you. I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm just being honest. Like, bro, like, these are the conversations that you need to have before you get married to somebody, to make sure that y'all are on one accord. Like, because eventually children are going to come into that. Like, how do you expect these children to be raised? Do you expect me to be a stay-at-home mom the whole time? Or after they get a certain age, you want me to go to work? Your expectation is that I'm going to be outside of the house. How many children are you expecting to have? Would you like to have if y'all allows? What do you think about your daughter dating? Do you think is dating an option? Because in some families, some daddies like, I don't want my daughter to date. Dating creates a mindset of whoredom to some people. Like, yo, I'm just teaching her how to go from one to one to one. Whenever she don't like this one, get rid of them, get another one, and just keep satisfying your own self. Some people see it like that. I don't want my daughter to date. I don't want my son to date. Like, these are the conversations that you need to be having with someone. Like, what is your view of this? What is your perspective? What is your expectation? What role do you play in the marriage as a man? What are you going to do? What do you want to do? And what do you want your wife to do? How do you want your wife to treat you? How do you want to be treated? Y'all better go to a arcade and play. I think an ideal first date is something that causes the mind to work and the body to work, to go play video games, go on a hike. I want to see who you are when you get frustrated. Are you going to let me win? Right? Like, do you let me win, or are you competitive? Because, like, I need to know, like, is he going to challenge me, or is he just going to let me just do whatever? Right? Like, is he for me, or is he really, like, unknowingly against me because he doesn't want what's best for me? He wants what's comfortable for me. Like, y'all better find out who you are marrying before you marry them. Find out. These are the things. Like, learn a person, and learn a person for real. Learn a person intentionally, and take everything back to the Most High. Let y'all lead you, let y'all guide you. And that's it. That's it for this one. I don't know. I was about to say that's it for today, but I ain't even gonna put myself in that position because I already know how I would get down. But that's it for right now. May the Most High bless you and keep you in all your decision making, and may you feel more comfortable and more relaxed and more equipped to ask now, right? Because sometimes we just need to give ourselves permission to be who Yah has called us to be set apart. And it's like, if you ain't with it, then cool. Then I know that this wasn't meant to be anyway. Because if you are walking in alignment with the Most High, you would be with everything that I'm doing. All of these questions that I am asking you, not only will you be excited that I'm asking you these questions, we're going to have dialogue. It's going to be dialogue. We're going to talk. We're going to kick it. We're going to laugh. Next thing you know, we done sat here for hours just talking about how wonderful Yah is and how he's shown up in our lives. And I'm answering questions and we're talking and we're growing. Like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. And that's what I encourage you to do. Like I said, in every aspect, even if this isn't wedding season for you, even if you aren't in the position, Yah hasn't revealed to you who your spouse is. If you're thinking about going to school, talk to Yah about it. If you're thinking about going to work, talk to Yah about it. You're thinking about starting a new workout plan, talk to Yah about it. You're thinking about switching out foods, talk to Yah about it. You're thinking about redecorating your house, doing your hair, I don't know, getting a dog. Like, talk to Yah about it and make sure that is what he has for you, and that you aren't doing things prematurely, or that you're not going in the wrong direction entirely. Okay? May the Most High bless you and keep you. Shalom. Until next time. Bye.